Hi, this is Timco Travels and today we are in Lisbon!
Lisbon is the capital of Portugal and one of the oldest cities in Europe, having existed on this site since the 8th century BC.
The city sits at the mouth of the River Tagus, which creates a vast estuary and one of the largest natural harbours in the world.
Subsequently, the city has thrived for millennia thanks to its trade, sitting as it does at the crossroad between the shipping routes of the Mediterranean, Northern Europe and the Atlantic Ocean.
When traders first arrived in Lisbon, the first thing they would see was the impressive Praco do Comercio, which was once home to the royal palace until it was destroyed by the 1755 Lisbon earthquake.
When the city was rebuilt, the entire downtown area was remodelled, with its geometric streets leading from this square.
Impressive though it is, it has only recently been restored to its original glory because throughout most of the second half of the 20th century it was used as a car park.
Thank God they saw the error of their ways. Question 1. Approximately what percentage of the population of Portugal lives in Lisbon?
Oh, that's hard. Where is the largest capital? Where is the largest city?
By far.
Porto.
And there's not a massive population in Portugal as well.
I'm going to say 35%.
Oh, you're close. You're close. It's actually 27% of the population of Portugal live in Lisbon. 0.1%. Sorry.
Downtown Lisbon sits at the bottom of a valley between several hills that surround it.
While the main section is relatively flat, do not be fooled, because the streets around it are incredibly steep.
So much so that Gustave Eiffel, of Eiffel Tower fame, built a lift so that you don't always have to walk.
So save your legs, because there is a lot to see and do in the city.
The Time Out Market is definitely worth a visit, which is a cluster of high-end market stalls serving the yummiest food from all over the globe.
But not really from Portugal, because Portuguese food can be an acquired taste.
Rude.
For a nation not really known for its cuisine, how did you find Time Out Lisbon?
Amazing. Delicious. Superb.
Best thing to do at the end of a long day sightseeing in Lisbon? Come and see this amazing view from their sky bar. All those hills mean a lot of amazing viewpoints. Question 2. Lisbon is the second oldest capital city in Europe. So what's the first oldest capital in Europe?
The oldest capital of Europe. I'm going to be biased, I'm going to say Paris.
No, Paris is not the first oldest. I thought it was going to be Rome, but it's not Rome.
Yeah,
it's not even Rome, it's Athens.
Oh, I got the point.
No, you didn't.
A short tram ride up the harbour and you'll find yourself in the suburb of Belem.
Belem is absolutely worth a trip because it contains some of Lisbon's most famous landmarks.
The starting point for many of the voyages during Portugal's golden age of discovery, these intrepid explorers are commemorated in this monument, including Magellan and Vasco da Gama.
And it was built by the person that nobody here particularly likes to talk about when they are recounting their history, which is their dictator, Salazar, from the mid-20th century. However, he wanted to glorify Portugal and all of Portuguese achievements, particularly the historic ones, and well, the monument is pretty impressive, to be honest, and it is a really brilliant landmark. So if Salazar did something right, at least, it was by building this. Directly across the square is Jeronimo's Monastery, a remarkably ornate church and cloister that, together with the Belem Tower, make up a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
The finest remaining example of Portugal's late Gothic Manueline architecture in the world, it was started in 1501 and took 100 years to build.
The monastery was inhabited by Hieronymite monks, whose role it was to serve the sailors and explorers coming through Belem and to continuously pray for the king's immortal soul.
Well, I suppose if you paid for the monastery, that's the least they could do in return.
Did you know that Jeronimo is Portuguese for Jérémy?
No, it's not.
Yes.
It's called Jerome.
Okay, I made it up, but still, humour me.
You always lie.
Belem is also home to the most famous Portuguese snack of all.
So we obviously had to try pastéis de nata from the shop that invented them, known here as pastéis de Belem.
What's this? Oh no. I think it's time that we did a unboxing video of our pastéis de Belem. So what do we get inside our little tube?
Well, actually, it's not that easy to open. I don't want to break them.
Show me.
Ta-da! And...
wow, look at that. They look so good. Belem also features this little known and mostly forgotten landmark as well.
The Belem Tower, also known as the most famous building in Portugal, do you mean?
Yeah, that's the one. Oh, also, the leaders of the European Union famously signed the Lisbon Treaty here in 2007. Here's the name of my Prime Minister at the time.
And here's the name of my president.
One very famous event that happened in Lisbon was the earthquake.
Yes.
That killed 40,000 people and destroyed 85% of its buildings.
You're going to ask me the dates.
I'm going to ask you which century it falls in.
Okay, that's right. We saw that yesterday. So it was the 18th century.
Is the correct point?
1753, I believe.
Oh, I would have given you a bonus point if you got the year right, but you're really close. It's 1755. For the 18th century. You still get the point for the 18th century.
And a bonus point.
The best place to learn about the earthquake is the Story of Lisbon Museum, where you get to experience a virtual 1755 earthquake for yourself.
Please note how the swinging light shade gives extra authenticity to the experience.
Best thing about Lisbon? The hills. Worst thing about Lisbon? The hills. Because at the top of one of these hills is Cristo Rei, a large statue of Jesus Christ that overlooks the city.
Hang on, I thought this was Lisbon, not Rio de Janeiro.
Well, it's funny that you say that because in 1934, a Portuguese cardinal visited Brazil and was particularly impressed by their new statue overlooking the city. When World War II broke out, he proposed that they build a similar statue as an offering to God to deliver them from fighting in the war. When Portugal survived it without being involved, the city agreed and built it.
So it's literally a copied idea, this totally from the Brazilians. That's like how there's a mini Statue of Liberty in Paris.
Or a mini Eiffel Tower in Las Vegas.
Except there's nothing mini about this statue in Lisbon. It's absolutely vast. The statue is 28 meters tall, the plinth is 82, and the cliff top it sits on is 133 meters tall.
From wave to head, it towers 243 meters over this incredible view of, well, another remarkably familiar landmark.
Hang on, I think I've seen this one somewhere before too.
I prefer to use the term inspiration rather than copy. So what bridge does the Lisbon Bridge resemble?
Well, the one from San Francisco.
The Golden Gate Bridge.
Golden Gate.
And even though it looks just like it, it was actually designed by a San Francisco-based firm called the American Bridge Company, but believe it or not, it wasn't built by the same company.
Well, I don't believe it.
Well, it's true. I found it on Wikipedia. It's the same company that built the Empire State Building, the Chrysler Building, and the Sears Tower. Isn't that interesting?
Well, it really is, but more interestingly, right behind me, right there, one of those containers full of cocaine. So it's on 000.
That's explains why so many people down in Lisbon have been offering us drugs since we arrived.
I would expect they want to get rid of it.
Yeah, like literally every 5 minutes we've got someone coming up to us going, cocaine, cocaine, you want cocaine, hashish, Charlie, cocaine, marijuana, cocaine.
Yeah.
I couldn't resist the urge to lean out of the window of our taxi as we crossed it, like a dog with my ears flowing in the breeze. Question 4. In 2007, the Treaty of Lisbon was signed here.
Yes.
What is it?
Oh, well, that's hard. Because even Google doesn't know. It was like a change of other treaties to reunify this and make it a bit simpler.
To make what simpler?
The way the EU works.
There we go. I'm going to give you the point for that because that's basically what it is. It reunified,
even Wikipedia
brought together the
really know.
powers. Did you Google the answers beforehand?
Well, we talked about it on the bus.
Oh, true.
Something Lisbon has managed to do remarkably well is capitalize on its rather rickety and old-fashioned public transport system.
You'll see these tiny yellow trams tootling all over the city, and I'm glad they decided to keep them here because they really do add a whole new element of character to the city.
They're certainly a welcome sight when you're struggling up those hills because they manage perfectly well to amble through the narrow steep streets that meander around the city centre.
The most iconic of all the trams is Tram 28, whose windy route takes you back and forth through the oldest streets in the city, passing landmark after landmark and squeezing through the tiniest little alleyways.
Seriously though, it's pretty impressive how small the gaps are that the trams can feed through.
Don't poke your head out too far out of the window because sometimes the sides of the street are just mere centimetres away.
The network itself dates from 1873 and consists of 6 lines, as well as few cable trams, which are essentially funiculars that scale some of the steepest streets in the city.
It costs €3 to travel the full length of Tram 28's route, and it is absolutely worth every cent.
But we would highly recommend that you buy a 24-hour travel card, which gives you access to the metro, subways, buses and all the trams for €6, or 10 if you want ferry travel in there too.
And the only access to Cristo Rei is by ferry or by taxi. And the reward at the end of Tram 28's line? Amazing views like this one.
Question 5. What is the name of the style of music that is very sad and slow and mournful from Portugal that is being sung everywhere?
Well, I'm a big Eurovision fan, and I know Fado.
And for a bonus point, what was the name of the guy that won Eurovision?
Jose Monch.
To be honest, I don't know the answer to this one. I didn't prepare this one.
I have no idea.
So I'm going to Google it and I'm going to put it on the screen now.
Underneath the bridge, you'll find the LX Factory, Lisbon's trendiest hipster district for shopping, dining and drinking.
But far off in the opposite direction, you'll find Parque das Nacoes, which was a site for the 1998 Lisbon World Exhibition.
A marina that has become populated with leisure facilities. You can stroll the seafront or jump on a cable car to get wonderful views across the bay and of the nearby Vasco da Gama Bridge.
The longest bridge in the EU, it is 12.3 kilometers long, crossing the entire Tagus estuary, and after its initial cable section, it just goes on and on and on, far out onto the horizon.
It was opened in 1998, unsurprisingly in the same year as the World Exhibition.
Well, anyone would think they planned it. We absolutely adored Lisbon, but the best thing about Lisbon is actually what's just outside it.
Sintra, the home for centuries of the Portuguese elite.
Which is where we're heading next.
Make sure you tune in next time so you can see all of the palaces in Sintra. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, but most importantly, subscribe.
And follow us on Instagram at Teamquad Travels, where you can see all of my amazing photographs.
Yes, Jeremy, we are perfectly aware of the fact that all of the photographs are yours. But make sure that you tune in next time to find out where in the world we end up next. Until next time, folks.
See ya.
Bye! And don't forget to subscribe. Bye!